Hello and welcome to Perfectly Paired with Chef Jim May. Today we're doing a springtime recipe featuring our 2019 Dry Creek Zinfandel. I have two favorite wines in the world. One is a Pinot Noir and one is a Zinfandel. Unfortunately, we only make one Zinfandel, and this is a beauty. It's made from vineyards surrounding the winery. One is from Pauline's Vineyard across the street, and one is from Timbercrest Vineyards right next to the winery. We are making a real light, it's like a risotto, but it's made with Orzo, it's a pasta much lighter than a risotto, and it's got all springtime flavors. It's got arugula, it's got peas, it's got fennel, and it takes 20 minutes to make. It's great with the wine because there are different components that bring out the fruit, which is tons of fruit, but there's a little bitterness in the arugula that makes the wine a little sweeter, and it's very, very nice. Easy to make. What I started with is some garlic and some shallots. Very simply, just cut them, dice them, mince them, and while I'm doing this, I'm browning off some sausage. Now I'm using one of our partners here in Healdsburg, Journeyman Meats. They make several different sausages. This happens to be a mild Italian sausage. It is raw, so I want to cook it first for about 8-10 minutes in a pan with a little oil in it. And then once it's cooked, I'll be able to slice it and add it at the very last minute. But in the meantime, while that's heating up, I'll cut these guys up, do the mise en place, get everything ready. Like I said, the Zinfandel is very much a Zinfandel for Pinot Noir lovers. It is made with the same yeast, goes in the same French oak barrels as our Pinot Noir, and it's not like any Zinfandel that I've ever had in Dry Creek. It's definitely got an elegance to it. It's not big, hot, high alcohol Zinfandel. It's more elegant and more refined. Got these guys going. That'll go in the same pan that I'm cooking the sausage in. The other thing I'm going to put in it is fennel, which has got, when it's raw, it's got this kind of licoricey kind of taste, but when it's cooked, it softens, it sweetens, and you just take off these fronds. You can use these as a garnish if you want. They're fun, they're pretty on the plate. But in the meantime, you're just going to take like half a bulb there and just dice it. There'll be a core in it that you want to take out right at the bottom, that little guy. And then you're going to put this across there. Okay, so this fennel will go in towards the last minute. In the meantime, I'm going to take out these sausages. You can see they're nice and brown. And they're going to be hot now. I want to cool them just slightly. But while they're cooling, I use 1 pound for 4 to 6 people. These are a little bit bigger, but usually it's about 4 sausages to a pound. You can use hot if you want to. If you like it spicy, sorry. If you like it spicy, use spicy sausage. This is going to, there's still enough oil. If you need more oil, put more oil in it. This is going to take about, like I said, about 2 or 3 minutes just to soften up. This is going to be, you're developing layers of flavor. And I used Orzo. Now you can use risotto if you really want to. It takes twice as long, and it's a heavier grain. Orzo is much more spring-like. Like I said, have it for a lunch, have it for a side dish, but it's really quite, it's a nice, hearty, dinner for a springtime meal. I'm heating up some chicken stock. which I'm going to add. I've got 5 cups in here. I'm only going to use 4 cups. I'm going to keep 1 because I'm not sure how it'll all absorb at the end. You want it to be moist and very not soupy. You want it clean and moist and creamy. So like a risotto. It's going to be very much like a risotto. So these guys are cooling. Move this aside. So I'm just going to cut these into little discs. Probably just under 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch. These are all going to go into the pasta at the end. It'll get finished cooking because I just wanted to brown these off, firm them up. So you want to get at least, 10 to 12 out of each sausage. But like I said, it's nice thin slices so they cook fast and everyone can have a bite as they go along with it. This happens to be, we have journeyman sausage at the winery in the tasting room. It comes with a kit with wine to pair with it, and there are 2 different kinds of sausages that pair exceptionally well with the wine. But they're called chubs is what it's made, and it's made in an old Italian way. It's made by the Segesio, part of the Segesio family from the winery. Okay, now this is just about done. All you want to do is soften it, not brown it. And I'm going to put in the stock and the fennel. Fennel first. You want about 1/2 cup, a little bit more. Like I said, play it by ear. And then I'm going to put in, I brought the stock to a simmer. I'm going to add 4 cups out of the 5. Bring it, it was at a boil, but I just want to make sure it boils in here. Then I add 1.5 cups of, it's the same as rice, about 1/4 cup per serving. It'll swell up tremendously. Let's get this going boiling. And I'm going to add this. So you're going to stir this frequently because you don't want it to stick on the bottom of the pan. And all these flavors are going to start coming together. This is going to take about 7-8 minutes at a simmer, and then we'll add the rest of the components. I have peas, I have the sausage, and I'm going to put in arugula. I'm adding at the very end some mascarpone. It's like an Italian cream cheese. It's not sweet, it's very creamy, but I'm just going to put in about 2/3, 3/4 of a cup. And it's going to blend in and just make that rich. It's going to richen the dish, and it's going to have the acid in the wine that will cut through that richness. And it's a wonderful pairing, and it pairs perfectly. So this is boiling now. Like I said, I'll give it 8 minutes. Well, and now it's been about 6 or 7 minutes. It's still a little al dente right now, but you want to stir it frequently like you would a regular risotto. Stirring it, to me it's getting a little, soaking up most of that 4 cups, so I'm going to add a little bit more of the stock, which is why we have a little extra there. And then I'm going to add the sliced sausage that we had and heat that in it. It's going to give it flavor. And 10 ounces, it's about the size of a lot of the frozen peas. Peas are still frozen, so we're going to cook this for a few minutes. Defrost the peas, finish the inside of the sausage, and infuse a little bit of the flavor into all this. Like I said, you want to keep it creamy before you serve it, so that's why you have a little extra stock to keep it moist. And then we're going to add the mascarpone. This is looking really good. Add some more of this. There we go. Another 2-3 minutes and it'll be ready to go. like I said, it's kind of a nice take on a rice risotto because the pasta is a lot lighter. And I'm using all these springtime components in there. What I'm going to do, I'm still cooking this down. I want to taste it. It's al dente, but I want new salt and pepper because we haven't seasoned it at all yet. So I'm going to put in a good teaspoon of salt. See if that's enough. I am going to put a little Parmesan cheese on it, so that's going to give it a little more saltiness. I'm going to give it a lot of pepper. The wine has this nice pepperiness to it, black pepper in the back of it, and so the pepperiness of the arugula and the black pepper is gonna bridge those flavors together. And it's getting there. Let me see how the seasoning is on that now. One more pepper. I want it heavy on the pepper because I want it to have those flavors that match the wine. The sausage, you can't go wrong with Zinfandel and sausage. It's always, whether you grill it or do a different kind of side dish or entree like this. You can also do it with, I've done this with ham, like a nice smoked ham. I've also done it with smoked turkey, but for pairing it with the Zinfandel, I think the sausage has a little more of that robust, that pork flavor. But you can do it anything you want. You can even just leave out the meat totally, do the fennel, the peas, the arugula. And I'm going to, this is about ready. One more taste. And I'm going to add, like this is 8 ounces of mascarpone. I'm going to add about 3/4 of it. I'm going to put it in here. Like I said, and it'll melt rather quickly. And you won't even know it's there except for the fact that it's got this beautiful, let me show you what this looks like here. See, it's moist, the cheese is melting really quickly, and as soon as that gets melted, we're going to add the arugula. And the arugula, again, it's like spinach. It'll cook down to almost nothing, as it will. Get in there, you guys. And this gives it a nice green freshness. Goes with the freshness, and there's a lot of fruit in that Zinfandel. There's a lot of raspberry and cherry and black pepper, and it's really kind of an elegant, beautiful wine. See how creamy this is? It's like a creamy risotto, and all that arugula is starting to, well, you don't want to overcook it. Just put it in, that's why I took it off the heat. And then I'm just going to dish it up. Let's get some sausage. See, this will depends on how much you want to serve. This serves easy 4, and quite frankly 6 is fun too. You can take some of those fronds like I was talking about earlier. You can take some of those to garnish it if you want. Kind of fun to tie that in. And then I sprinkle a little bit of Parmesan cheese on it just to give it a little extra cheesiness. And then it's ready to eat. And I think I'll give it a little try. This is the fun part. This is the new release. We only make a small amount of this. Like I said, we make 10 Pinots. We only make 1 Zinfandel, but it's a really pretty wine. Wine Club gets it first, and then what's left is available to the public, but it sells out quickly. Beautiful, beautiful wine. I'm going to give this a little try. arugula. Get a little piece of sausage. Okay. Wine, food, wine. Perfectly paired. It's a miracle. Anyway, if you can make it, like I said, it's easy to make. If it's a nice springtime day, have it, or evening, have it outside with a couple bottles of wine. I actually had this earlier with our 19, and then I also tried it with our 17 Zin, which I found a bottle of. Both of them perfectly paired. So they work really well with either of our Zinfandels. Much different than other people's, like I said, because Ben Papapietro has a style of his own, and it's a really good style. So enjoy. Here's to the good life. Thanks for joining me.